live and lighting and lighting. There we go. A couple of minutes early. See if anybody else strolls up tonight. Hey, hello mate, how you doing? Thank you very much for the membership. I hope it all works out. Yeah, I'll let everybody know about that in a little bit. I've lost a few subscribers, I think, over it, which is a shame. Maybe I should have talked about it beforehand. But hey, what can we do? What can we do? I'm just going to chuck that up, Lee. Oh, dear. Well, I hope you've had a great week, mate. And I hope all is looking up for you. And like I say, thank you very much for becoming a member. And as a member, it's going to, make you part of us. Mate, I appreciate it. And again, don't make yourself short. If you have, if you struggle at any time, don't worry about it. Cancel your membership. So I'd rather have the subscribers and the friends and all the guys that have been with the channel. But yeah, got to find ways of making it work a little bit better for itself. Purely and simply because it is bloody difficult for everybody, and I understand that. I understand everybody's in the same boat these days. Financially, it is hard. Running the channel off our own backs, trying to find kit, trying to find the time, the budget for fuel, and everything else has been a bit of a nightmare. YouTube this last week have allowed me to become a partner. Basically means I've got to the point where they think I'm doing well enough. And by opening up as a partner, it's by joining as a partner, I open the membership. By opening the membership up, it's then means I've got access to a lot of other things within YouTube. There's lots of bits and pieces that I can add onto my channel, like shared screens, bringing people in for interviews and stuff like that, which for the last couple of months, I've been banging my head wondering about. Jim Godman, thank you very much, mate. Welcome to Tier 1. You are a member too. So I've been banging my head thinking, how do other people, and I won't say their names, but some of the big channels, how do they get all this stuff? Hi, Mac. And it turns out they offered me the partnership. And it says, when you become a partner, but look, you get all this. But one of the things about becoming a partner is opening up a membership. Now, they open membership at many levels. So I've kept it to the absolute basic. So that basically it allows me access to that YouTube door. And it turns out with YouTube, as you do better, a door opens. You walk through a door, there's all these new tools laid out in front of you, and so on and so on. And that's what I'm trying to do, trying to push. So, guys, those of you that want to become members, become members. Those of you that just want to stay as you are, well, I mean, stay as you are, you're all more than welcome. For the two people that unsubscribed today because of it, I'm sorry, guys. But I've got to try and push this forward. Got to get used to where the camera is. I've moved the camera so you can see the kit back there. I've got to try and push this forward and move forward with it. So it takes a bit of a push. The other thing is, by having you guys on board as members, it's good feedback. You're part of the team. I can do polls. I can do votes, which I can then throw out on the chats and so forth. Okay, and it grows it. And in growing it, allows us to do more. And yeah, that's enough waffle about that. Anybody that watches that on catch up, hopefully you get what I mean. Second thing for tonight, I would like to say, Armed Forces Day in the UK. Yeah, well, good on you, Cornwall. Yeah, I saw you did plenty down there. Armed Forces Day. great day for a national get-together to celebrate the armed forces, isn't it? I've heard hardly anything about it at all. Yeah, that's just a governmental tick in the box, I believe. And I wish we were a bit more like the Americans when it came to national pride, but what can we do? Anyhow, that's my political rant. Over and done with. Over and done with. No more politics, Mickey. Mustn't get political. Save that for the members only. Do excuse me, smoking a cigarette. I'm going to finish this, light my cigar in a bit. The cider of choice tonight is Bulmers. Why? Because it was cheap. Yeah, typical. Yeah, I'm not going to get. I'm not going to get political. I'm not going to get political. I'm not going to get political. I must behave. Anyhow. Evening, Sam. How you doing, mate? Evening, Lee. Evening, Jim. Evening, Mac. And evening, anybody else that's out there that's not on the chat. Welcome. Hope you enjoy. Now, I've got very rarely. Normally, I shut the curtain on this side. Yeah, that side. Blocks a bit of light out. I've got it open tonight. I've got the window open. I've got a little bit of camo netting up there just to cut the light out a little bit because that is the sun side. And I'm looking at the sky as it's slowly clouding over and going grey. And hopefully, we're going to get a bit of a drop in temperature. Yeah, Jim, I'm unsure about that. I've spent sort of the last 8 hours today firing through it, trying to figure it out. And there's a world of stuff. I've just managed to basically set up the very basic. As members, if you might even know a bit more about it than I do, what we'll do is we'll get together on a members chat. I'll set up something later in the week, and we'll have a members evening, and you guys can tell me what you know about the system and all the rest of it. Anyhow, you can give membership. Excellent. 28 degrees up there. It's dropped to 16. Oh, nice. There we go. Law Mice, hiya, how you doing? Welcome. Right, so tonight's chat, so what I was going to get onto is Cooksets. How you see it, all over there. Cooksets and cook gear and all the rest of it. Basically because it's scalding hot and people are saying to me, what do you use? Why do you use it? How do you use it? And so on and so on and so on. And I'm no expert. Okay, as I've said many times, I'm not an expert. I've years of experience. I've picked up tricks and tips along the way, and I never stop learning. Okay, so anytime any one of you says, "Don't think that works, mate," or you've got a better idea, or you've got something that you think would be more appropriate, hit me up. Let me know. Prepared to try almost anything as long as it doesn't hurt. Dirty Faces, welcome. Good evening, Kaz. Hiya. Oh, I could have done with longer in the fridge. It's cool, but it's not cold. Oh, knowledge is power. Of course it is. So, right, let's start with Cooksets. So, what was the very first Cookset I ever had? Well, it's bonfire, basically. As with most of us, it was a bonfire. It was as a nipper. It was a little fire pit surrounded by house bricks, with an old grate thrown over it. And that's where I started off. Okay. That's where most of us start off. And did me for donkey's use. Not a problem. In the garden, safe. Yeah. I had a father who really was very good at holding our hand, moving us forward and showing us right from wrong, especially coming from a farming background. So I then had my stint with the military, and we used things like this. The little folding stove. That's actually a German one. I believe it's a genuine German Esbit one. A lot smaller than the British Forces, but a lot stronger, a lot sturdier. But I'll tell you an interesting thing about this one that I didn't learn until I became a blacksmith was you really don't want to cook on it. And it's something to keep an eye out on your cook sets, or if you buy a cook set from somebody, especially a cheap manufacturer. If it's galvanized or zinc coated, you don't want to burn it. Okay, zinc galvanizing, when it gets hot enough, gives off some very, very nasty fumes, will make you very, very ill. Yeah, hexi stoves, and basically that's what it's designed to work with. Hexamine and Esbit, same product, two different names. So went on to that, and I used that again for many years, many adventures, lots of fun. They were brilliant. They are effective. The only downside for me is I cannot abide the smell. The smell of hexamine stinks to high heaven, and when you're trying to be covert, when you're maybe doing, I can't go into too much. We're doing things like anti-poaching work, which is as a civilian, and you're going to try and brew up somewhere, and you've dug your little pit so that nobody can see the light and all the rest of it. Hexamine is still going to give you away. So that was the downside of hexamine. And of course, the military have now gone over to fire gel. Now, there's a lot of people say to me that they don't like the fire gel. It's sloppy. It doesn't burn as hot or as quick. Okay, right. That's because you're looking at it with a civilian mindset. You're not looking at it with a military mindset. So the military mindset says this: everything in the military kit, absolutely everything, can be eaten cold. Okay, it can be eaten straight from the bag, cold. There are drinks in there that can be had cold. However, the heating system is to get it warm enough. It's not to sterilize it. It's not to preserve it. It's not to get it mega hot. It's getting it hot enough to make a comfortable meal, even in felt. And the idea behind that is that the fire gel in the little stoves, even in the BCB system, which we'll talk about in a minute, will make your brew. It will make you a hot drink. It will make you a hot chocolate. It will heat the water enough to make your food warm. The real bonus of this stuff is it has absolutely no smell. So it has absolutely no smell. And on top of that, I should pull that curtain because the sun is breaking through. And also on top of that, having no smell, it gives off a little light as well, which is a real bonus. So if you think about it from a tactical point of view, it's less to give you away. And that's one of the reasons we've gone over to the fire gel. And yeah, I like it. It works. And okay, if I'm going to be sterilising water, I'm going to be using a lot more of it to boil that water. But yeah, during the event, yes, fire gel does all, even lubricates. I don't know, that sounds stupid, but yeah, I used it on a cable the other day that I was trying to thread through a piece of sleeving, and I was sat there and I was like, I just need something, and I just cracked one open, used it, and it slid it through. Evening, Rick. Hope you're doing good. Camera's moved over today because I've got a little surface there. So yeah, that's my thoughts on fire gel, and that is basically the military mindset on fire gel over hexamine. It is better tactically. From a survival point of view, okie doke, so we go to a survival point of view. Obviously, hexamine burns hotter and it burns a little bit longer. So if you're having an emergency survival kit, you're slapping into the car or into a bug-out bag, yeah, the way to go with hexamine. And my recommendation there, especially if you're on a tight budget at the moment, is to pick up one of the French Cooksets. And they just literally, for emergency, perfect. They come in a little brown sealed bag, 8 Esbit tablets in there and a foldable stove. And if you wanted something to throw in the glove box, throw in a bag, cheap and efficient and works, yeah, that's a great bit of kit. It's come a long way. The UK version of that was twice the size. By the time you've packed that away, it's taken up room in kit that you could probably want other things. Right, as usual, for any of you guys that are new, on a Sunday night, I allow myself my cigars. It's the only night of the week I smoke a cigar. So if you're offended by smoking, I do apologise. However, there's a lot worse things to be offended by. I know it sounds a bit harsh, but you know, my lungs. Okie doke. So that was a hexi stove. So what I then went into, like a lot of other people, gas stoves. Okay. And I started off with the Coleman. In fact, I actually started off with a Coleman petrol stove, and that was a bloody good bit of kit. The only problem for me was after blowing one up or having one vent, blew a seal, filled the whole space with vaporized petrol, and then ignited itself, which was a bit of a shocker. And I didn't like carrying the petrol. Funny enough, I now carry methylated spirits. But what can you say? So yeah, went over to gas. And gas, whether you're using Coleman, camping gas, whether you're using Coleman's, whether you're using MSR, whether you're using jet boil, or whether you're using a generic copy, they're all pretty much of a much. Good, reliable kit. With the right pan set, it works well. Okay, and that is what I keep in the car. That folds down to almost nothing. It lives in the car. It's got one of those. I've got a pan set which I keep in the car. And that is, to excuse my belly button, it's an OEX, I believe. Pan set, and it is just a basic pan set. Lives in the car with that. In fact, that all packs inside that. That becomes a kettle. It becomes a pan for cooking, boiling the bags, or tin of soup, or whatever I needed to in an emergency. So that's my car kit. So I went to that. Now, gas is awesome, but gas runs out. When that bottle's done, that becomes useless. If I can't get a replacement, yeah, it becomes a nightmare. So you start looking at that as a great, look at that, it's even cooled down already. So that becomes an absolutely brilliant emergency kit for preparation, being in the car. Yeah. And packs away to nothing. Okay, lives in there in its little box. It's great bit, like I say, great bit of kit. Does the job, does what it says on the tin. Fast and efficient. But again, you run out of that. So you then come to using what I would call more sustainable resources. Now, people are always saying about gas over spirit burners. Spirit burners I like, and I'll tell you why I like spirit burner, is I've run spirit burners on petrol. I've run them on paraffin. I've run them on denatured alcohol. I've used them on used them with medical alcohol. I've used them on methylated spirits. I've even used them with thinners. And I tell you what, with thinners, they're not burn quick. Okay, so if you were in a survival situation, or you're in a foraging situation where you are, say, after a natural disaster, basically salvaging what you can find, a spirit burner has got a lot more chances for you. The other thing with the spirit burner is you combine it with a stove. Okay, so you combine it with and I know another channel really lambasted this the other week, but I will say that has now had 20 odd burns in it, and it hasn't distorted, it hasn't fallen apart. So yeah, no. Okay, that works brilliantly with my spirit burner. Okay, my spirit burner sits nicely inside it. Okay, I can stick a pot on it, and I can make a brew, heat my food, sterilise my water. If I find that I can't replace the spirit for that drops down to the bottom, and that becomes a little tiny twig stove. Okay, and as a little tiny twig stove, it's not brilliant, but it's better than bugger all. Okay, so it's built in redundancy. Okay, it's going to adapt it's going to make another piece of kit. So, yeah, I like meth stoves a lot. You're going to see a lot of those on my channel. I also like twig stoves. And at this time of year, using the twig stove, as I said on a couple of the videos, is a bit of a nightmare, because in a lot of the woods I'm in, I'm surrounded by very, very dry environment at the moment. We've had temperatures up to 30 degrees. Some of them are pine, so they've got a lot of peat in the floor, a lot of pine needles, and the others are beech. So there's just a lot of leaf litter on the ground. It only takes that one spark. I know it might be me being a twitchy old man, but I've seen forest fires. I've been in heathland fires. I've seen what they can do, and I know sure as hell, not my responsibility, I'm not going to do it. So again, I'll go to the spirit burner, and yeah, you can knock that over. That can start a fire. Okay, it's going to start a fire where you see it. Okay, and a fire that you spot straight away, you can possibly get control of. Twig stoves throw out sparks. It may ignite 20, 30 meters away, and by the time you've got a whiff of the smoke, seen it, it's going to be too bloody late for you. Okay, excuse my language. So that's a little twig stove. Now, again, you can then move up. So that size twig stove working with a pot. That size, 1 litre of water, works absolutely fine. Okay. Again, cheap as chips on Amazon. So, yeah, there you go. You can slap a mess tin on it. Okay. So if you're going to buy one bit of kit, go for something like that. The one that's drawn a lot of interest for people, spirit stove wise, just recently on my videos, has been, let's get it right way around, that one, and that is from Fox Outdoors. Cheap as chips. Through Kaz found it through a surplus company called Surplus and Lost, and that is made in Germany, and it is definitely made in Germany. It's all labelled up, made in Germany. It's very, very good quality stainless steel. It's good and thick. And the nice thing with this, I mean, that's with the Esbit stove set in there, that way up. So that's the Esbit stove. So you can put fuel tabs on that. As we saw in the video the other day, it takes that fine. And if you had a bigger pot, it will take that fine as well. Nice and stable. Now, you use fire gel on it. Just be aware that there is a dent in there to hold the fire gel, but you're not going to be putting a huge amount in it. The kit itself folds away to absolutely nothing. Okay, I love this. This is actually in my bug out kit. Right? I think this is superb. Its only downside is I have heard of it being used as a twig stove, but it's going to be a bit floppy for that, and it's a bit small. Okay, but as a bug out kit, whether you use it with Esbit or whether you decide to get it right, you go. Your Trangier just fits into the slots like that. It's all self-contained, sits like that, absolutely perfect. So that anybody's working in forestry, working outdoors, they want something to throw in the glove box, the emergency box, the kit. Any of you fishermen out there that want to use a spirit stove, I'd go with that. Okay, and that's Fox Outdoors. Yeah, absolutely love it. But yeah, Matt was quite taken with the meth stove. He likes that, and like I say, a meth stove, it's not just stuck with meths. Yes, it's designed for methylated spirits from our American friends, or denatured alcohol, but anything with a high spirit and vapor rate in an emergency is going to work in that. Okay, And like I say, I have used petrol, I've used thinners, I've experimented with all sorts, and they will all work, anything that's got a good vapor rate. And of course, after an emergency, people always think of petrol being at a premium, but you've only got to watch half the movies, right? And it's only going to take a little bit of thought and a little bit of sense, and you can probably gain spirit. It might not be at the best quality, but you can gain it. So that goes on to that. So now the other end of the scale, we come to that. Now, those of you that saw my very early videos, hi Ian. Paraffin works a lot slower than meths because it's a lot denser material and it takes more heat to make it vaporize. Denatured alcohol, medical alcohol, thinners, petrol, it sort of goes in that scale, and then down to things like paraffin. Okay, once the paraffin's got hot, it will work. And the other thing you could do if you want to make the paraffin last, if you can get some sort of wicking material into the center, yeah, that will work as well. It's a bit smoky and it does stink. Yeah. Do excuse me, and those of you that observe them, it's not my usual cigar tonight. I'm smoking Hamlet. Foul. Anyhow, so onto that. So those of you that saw my channel when I first started, one of the first pieces of kit I bought, or Kaz bought me, was this folding box stove off Amazon, dirt cheap. And I've had it now, must be nearly a year, and it has seen a lot of use. Okay, a lot of use, and it has been abused. Folds down to that. Okay, now when I first got it, and when you open it out, that great grill drops down, catches in the clips, makes it fairly rigidly square, sits like that. Got the little loading door at the front, which you can shut. Obviously control your fire and your heat. So if you're using coals on it, yes, you can use coals on it, or barbecue coals. Does work. You can shut the door up, slow the burn down, catch the heat off there. Got a little tray there, slots in as an ashtray on the side there. I've dropped it to the floor, but hey, what the hell. Now, somebody else on a channel was demonstrating this exact stove, and the guy said, it's pants. Rubbish. Dangerous, because look, see this? This could fall off. There's nothing to hold it on. Okay, I'm not wishing to sound like an arse, but it's got two handles on it. You're never going to pick up a fire when it's hot, are you? And it folds. So why has it got handles on it? It's got handles on it because that's that shape. And that slots on there like that. Can't go anywhere. Okay, all right. Just because it's cheap and it's on Amazon doesn't always mean it's absolute rubbish. Don't get me wrong. There are other companies out there. There's some big names that probably make exactly the same thing to a lot higher standard and out of a lot better materials. However, this, for what it is, okay, was absolutely brilliant. And I improve the lighting a little bit, put that down there. Right, it cost me, I think it was 24 quid, I think it was. Right, and like I say, I've had a year of it, I've abused it, I've put Trangier stoves in it. It's a bit of a drop for a Trangier, so if you set it up on something, it will work in there. And again, it makes a really good twig box, a really good one. So again, in the autumn, you'll see that get used quite regularly. I've even had a go at doing my Dutch oven on it, which I thought it's going to crush it because I've got a big old Dutch oven. But no, it sat on there and it did get the heat into it. Yes, Mac, as we were discussing the other day, these handles should hang down. No, they're not handles, they're just locators for the grill so the grill doesn't fall off, as you see. Because as I would like to point out, when you take the grill off and your fire's out and your door's shut and you put it away, I mean, you're not going to walk around the woods all day long with it like that, are you? Put that away. It all folds up quite neatly. Now the bag, as I said in the very first video, is pants. Okay, the zipper was rubbish, it broke, but the bag is held together reasonably well for what it is. It all packs away in a one-er. That slips away inside the bottom of a Bergen or a rucksack quite neatly. Okay, it's not a bad bit of kit. In fact, it's a damn good bit of kit. As opposed, on the other side of the coin, one that I'll be trying this week, and that is that, which is a baby version of the slot together sort of garden come camping heavy metal, I don't know what you call them, fire pits. That's what I'm looking for, fire pits. It's a mini fire pit. 1mm stainless steel, cheap as chips. I think Kaz found it through Temu or somebody like that. Thought we'll buy that and try it. One drawback on it again, and I'll come back to this, that's all stainless steel. That's good. You're not going to have a problem with that. That has been galvanised. It is cheap metal and it's galvanised. If I try and cook on that, it's going to make me ill. However, you can remove galvanising. It does burn off. But you've got to be outside. You've got to be in a very, very clear-aired environment. And you want a lot of heat. And basically, you want to get that red hot. That takes the galvanising off. That will then turn black because it's mild steel underneath. Why brush off the remaining galvanising, then use it for cooking? But yeah, I'm going to give that a go on a trip out. Why? Because it was cheap. It might turn out to be good. If I put a different grill on it, it might be okay. But again, till I try it, I can't really give you an honest thing. I think personally it's going to distort. But then I thought that about the folded box stove and was completely wrong. So that'll get tried out this week. It'll probably be on a short video, and I'll probably do it in the garden where I've got a hose to hand. It's going to be a bit safer. Might see if we can make a brew on that. Evening, Ray. Nice to see you, mate. So that's that. So let's see what else will we go. What we go to next. So of course, next. Gasifier stove. Oh, excuse me, drop things off the floor. The gasifier stove. Okay. Again, a simple folding stove. Okay, and I think I've shown you all on the video. Works on a principle that you have a fire pot with your burning material, which drops down like that into that. This is double walled, as you can see there, and then slots in there. So when you burn the material, the way this is designed is it actually draws down. So if you stack it with whatever material you've got, you light it from the top and it burns down. The heat is drawn through these and then back up through here. Okay, and any smoke and fumes that come up through there are then superheated between the two walls and ignite on exit through those holes there. Gasification stove. Basically, it's more complicated than it really needs to be when you explain it to people. What I can say to you is they work, and they work well. Very fuel efficient. I like to use wood pellet on that because it's just a lot easier than trying to break twigs up that are that long and stacking them all in there. But if you had to, it works well. The other thing is, again, the trangier. The trangier can sit inside that. You can put that on top. You've now got a cook stand. You can sit a trangier in it without a problem at all. Okay, it makes it quite an efficient tool. It comes with this little tray, and again, so this tray you can put Esbit in there, or you can put fire gel, drop it into the centre, and use it as a conventional stove if you haven't got other fuel sources. So really and truthfully, a great all-rounder, because like a lot of things, with a little bit of thought, you're not going to get into a world of redundancy. You're once the gas stove is the fastest and most efficient cooker of them all. However, once the gas is out, the gas is out. This, you can run it on spirit, you can run it on twigs, you can run it on solid fuel, you can run it on gels, you can run it on whatever you want. And again, it's very fuel efficient, and it keeps the fire localized. So as long as the ground below it is sort of, well, you're on something that's not going to catch fire, you're reducing your fire risk again with that. So that would be what I follow the meth stove, or follow onto the meth stoves if I was going out in a dangerous environment, because again, it's very, very controlled and reduces my risks to me and the environment. I could do more on that if you want. Yeah. Lee Michael, he uses them. He can back me up on it. Very fuel efficient and very, very good. And it's a unique system. It uses everything. Normal fire, you only get about 30% efficiency out of it because everything's escaping into the atmosphere. The wood doesn't burn clearly, hence you get smoke. The gasification stove, once it's actually at temperature, you get no smoke from it. It burns the smoke off. It uses it as a fuel source. Again, which minimises or maximises the efficiency of the burn. And I like it. Yeah, I like it. It's small, it's light, it's easy to carry, it's easy to get fuel sources. Great bit of kit. So next, that will take me on to, or back to meth stoves. Oh, did this one the other day. You all saw this one. A Trangier cook system. Okay, it's brilliant. Okay, it's a great piece of kit. You put your meth stove in there. You light your meth stove. It's protected from the wind. It's protected from the environment. There's multiple size pots. I've cooked steaks. I've fried. I've boiled potatoes. I've baked with it. I've even got. I don't know if. Oh, many of you have seen these. One of these, which is an oven, which is designed to work with the Trangier. And basically, this little oven has that tray, which is that shape, sits on there, and the oven's like that. The oven sits on there. Heat rises up through it. Lid for oven. On baked bread, baked sausages, baked meat. Do what you need to do. Okay, simple and efficient system. Downside, it's a bit bulky. Okay, it's light. It's fantastically light for what it is. However, in being light, it's quite thin-walled aluminium. And if you sat on it, trod on it, somebody boots it, it's done for. Okay, it would be a very easy system to destroy, break, or damage. However, if you're going camping with the family, keep it in a box, along with all your other cook gear, goes in the car, gets packed in and out sensibly. It's absolutely brilliant. John Kennedy, evening, mate, from St. Louis, Missouri. There you go. There's one for you, mate. I think that's my furthest out so far on a live chat. So, my friend, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, have one on, mate. Oh, excellent. Excellent. So, that's the Trangier. And like I say, it's a brilliant cook system for packing out. If there's a group of you or a family and you want to cook what I call proper meals rather than just your bushcrafter in the bush meal. Yeah, it's a great system to go with. However, for a single man pack out in a rucksack, it's just a bit bulky. Just a bit bulky. Well, that takes us from what I would call a family style, slightly lighter Trangier system. Phil, I will come round in the morning and let you know. A light system. Let's go to something heavy. Let's go to something that's been around for donkey's years, and pretty much will survive the apocalypse. Okay, I am pretty sure these are going to be floating around long after we're all gone. Okay, so this is the Swedish stove. Okay, again, designed to work with the Trangier, but it will also work as a twig stove. Trangier basically sits in the centre, and you've got two folding arms. One there, one there. That becomes your pot stand. With your cook system, you've just got a simple, heavy-duty aluminium pot. And when I say heavy-duty, it is heavy-duty aluminium. Okay. Now, great thing with this, with the bail handle, is I quite often use it over an open fire. Okay, I might just take that, boil water, cook food in it, whatever I need to do. But it's actually designed to sit in there that way round. And as my Swedish friend pointed out to me, always put this a handle to the back because it stops the handle getting hot. It's designed to be done that way. And then when you lift it off the fire, pretty much the same as a Kelly kettle, it's lifted like that. Okay, and that's why there's no vent holes here, so that the handle doesn't get hot, which is pretty clever. If you put it around the front, obviously heat rises through here, it gets hot. And it comes with a lid. Now, the lid obviously works well as a lid. Will also drop into the pot so you can keep things warm in it, and will also sit in there so that you can fry on it. Swedish M44, yeah, it's the aluminium version, it's the M44. I believe the M40 is a stainless steel version. It might be the other way around. Now, these are getting hard to find, okay? They're getting very hard to find, and they're starting to fetch stupid money. However, what I have noticed looking on things like eBay is you can pick up just the stove set for 20 quid, okay? Sometimes even less. I've seen these for as little as a tenner, okay? £10 to my friends abroad. Now, get it off there. What you can also pick up on the internet, dirt cheap at the moment, are Polish Cooksets, which is a very similar cook set. It's a very, very similar cook set, and these are going cheap as chips. These are going for like a tenner a time, and it fits in there. Okay. And even the pan set with a little bit of fettling fits in there. So again, if you can't get the Swedish one, but you find one of those, you can pick yourself a Polish tin for next to nothing. And again, I picked up this one for a tenner. Okay, it wants a wire bail handle making for it, but that means I can make the bail handle however I want. And it's a cheap, simple, efficient cook set. Will it pack away in there? Oh, almost. That ain't bad, is it? So whereas I have seen the Swedish full sets going for as much as £200, okay, a little bit of looking around, a little bit of thought, you can build yourself just as good a kit, okay? And nobody's ever thinking, people say, yeah, but it's not the Swedish. Does it matter? Does it matter if it's correct or not? Not really. And I'll tell you for why. Because it's your cook set. As long as it does what it says on the tin, it cooks. Right? That's your priority, right? I don't know what, I'm always bumping into what I like to call the bushcraft snobs, okay, who will look at your kit and go, oh, I got a cheap one from Amazon. Mine was handcrafted by a Nordic a Yeti in a mountain retreat. He hand carved it with his right testicle. Okay, I paid over £1,000 for it. Brilliant, great for you. I'll tell you what, a bit of tin foil formed into a cup will boil my water. Priority is to find systems that work for you, that you can afford, that you can manage, that do the job. Okay, and at the end of the day, both of those will definitely do the job. So, build your kit. What should we go to next? Right, of course. You cannot cover cook systems at all without the caddy kettle. And by golly, do I love the caddy kettle? Yes, I do. There are other companies out there making very similar items. Oh, excuse my indigestion. And they are as good. Okay? Because anything designed as well as that caddy kettle, whether they copy it, whether they change the shape slightly, that funneling chimney system is absolutely brilliant. It's so effective for boiling water. But it just boils water, you say. Yeah, I often get told that. There's the hobo stove. Did a video on that the other day. There's the pan. And there's a little stand. And I said on the video the other day, that little stand can be used 2 ways. It actually can be used 3 ways. It can be used that way to stand a pot on if you don't have the hobo stove. And whilst you are boiling your water, it can be utilised on the top. Okay, so that as you get the heat rising through the chimney, you're keeping whatever on the top is warm. You can cook on it. It's not the most efficient at the top of the chimney because it does affect the ability to feed, but it works. That's the good old caddy kettle. And of course, as you all saw, a few weeks ago, I decided to try it on pellet. And the only way I could make it work super efficiently on pellet was literally creating that foil, which are dropped in, and it lifts the pellet off the base, allowing the airflow more efficiently under it. And that works superb. I did fire off an email to Kelly Kettle asking them if they were ever going to make something like that for the inside, and I got a very, very nice reply from them saying yes, they have done in the past, looked into it. However, not so sure that there was a big call for it, as primarily they feel it's used or designed to be used as a twig stove, which is cool. At least they got back to me. Yeah, Kelly Kettle's more of a car camp item. I do a lot of instructing. So, again, the reason I got a Kelly Kettle originally is because I've got groups. So if I'm up the woods with a group, it was a great way of being able to make a brew. And, you know, if you've got a big group and you've got to make 2 brews, they work so fast and so efficiently. It was not a problem saying, right, I'll do all the cups of teas first and then I'll do the coffees afterwards. It's a great bit of kit, but again, it's a car kit. It does fit. However, I say that, I digress. I say that. My British issue longback Bergen with the rocket pouches on the sides, the Kelly Kettle system fits perfectly into that. Yeah, absolutely brilliant. So again, if I'm tabbing up onto the Welsh mountains, there's a group of 4, 5, 6 of us, I'll carry a Kelly Kettle, and I might divvy some of my kit out to other guys. You know, by divvying it out to the other guys, it's a case of, you know, somebody carry this, somebody carry that, and I'll do it. Yeah, and it does boil fast. It boils fast and efficiently, and it's not affected by weather. It's not affected by rain. It's not affected by wind. And the best thing, and just keep this to yourselves, the best thing with a Kelly kettle, you can dry your socks out on it afterwards. It's just, I know it sounds the craziest thing in the world, but I tell you, on a cold, wet night, when your kit is minging, it's ringing, and you make that last brew, and you just take it off the burner, and you lay your socks around the Kelly kettle, or wrap them around the Kelly kettle, okay, where it's still holding all that lovely hot water. It just takes no time at all, especially if they're good quality wool socks. It just dries them out. It's a beauty. So yeah, that's my number one tip, and that again is another reason why I love the Kelly kettle so much. It's simple things in this life that make it easy, and the fact that I found that I could dry my socks out, but dry even if they were still a little bit damp if I was moving on an hour later. A warm pair of socks on it made a big difference. Same thing with wool gloves on it. And so that brings me finally to my pickup this week, which I've now done 2 or 3 birds with. I tried 2 or 3 different methods. Okay. And that is the BB. Do excuse the brain injury. The BCB Crusader 2 Cookset. Now I tried the Crusader 1 donkeys years ago. It was all right. It was efficient for hexi, and we all said at the time, it's a shame it doesn't work with the Trangier. Make a good stove with the Trangier, and of course with the Crusader 1, you couldn't get a Trangier under it. And BCB listened to people, and all they did was extend it, raise it so that you could put a Trangier in there. So 41 quid doesn't get you that, unfortunately, which I think it's a shame, BCB, because I tell you what, considering how cheap it is to make that bit of plastic, it'd be very nice if you stuck it in the kit. Right? Standard British issue mug. Okay, loved by some, absolutely loathed by others. Okay, I've already had 2 or 3 mates go, chuck it away, run without it. You've got a cup there. Okay, get your point. However, I'll come back to that in a second. Standard British issue water bottle, plastic water bottle. Takes the cup on top, holds a litre. Nice thing is, fits in the system. So again, the system is containing its own self-contained water. Yeah, nice easy carry, simple as. The mug. Okay, mug holds a litre. Okay, that's the maximum fill. It is graduated off 0.5 litre, 0.25 litre. It's handy, especially these days if you're doing things like dry rations, dehydrated food. You want an idea of how much boiling water or hot water you're putting in there. The base and the cup are titanium, and as I say, friends of mine have said, well, don't just throw the plastic mug away because you can boil your brew in that. Yeah, I can, but quite often I find there's me and somebody else, or I might come across a casualty, or I might come across a person in distress, or I might be wanting to cook something in that and have a coffee at the same time. So I can use that to boil the water, make the coffee, stick the scoff in, sit back. That, it just gives you more options. And for the sake, that's not a lot. That's not a lot of weight. It's not even a lot of space for what it is. If you ever find yourself getting into the realms of trying to save ounces, okay, I know ounces make pounds, but really you got to come to a bit of logic on it and say to yourself, if I save those 2 ounces, does that outweigh the versatility of having that extra cup? Simple as that. And I know for some it will. For me, no. And the Cookset itself, It's quite simple. I've got my transier in there at the moment, so I can run some transier in there, or you can put hexamine or an S-bit in there and use it. You can put fire gel in there. You can put a good amount of fire gel in there, so you can get quite a long burn. That handle folds over. All goes there. I did the video on it this week, so I'm not going to teach you to suck eggs. Most of you have seen these before. It's a great bit of kit. Downside, obviously, as I said, you know, that has to be lifted off to get to your transier, to put your transier out. That gets hot. That's titanium, cools really fast. That cools a bit slower. Just a bit of common sense, really. The bag that it came in, I still don't like the bag. Okay. I've had it explained to me that apparently it's supposed to be worn upside down, so you open the bag, the water bottle and the cup drops out to hand. Great. Brilliant idea. Do you know what? I just still don't like it. I still don't like it. I will be making a bag for that. Basically, what I'll do is I'll make myself a simple drawstring bag that it'll fit in. That's probably going to be a fraction larger, or just an inch or two taller, really and truthfully, so that I can just stick a bit of brew kit in there. Yeah? The real bonus with this that I did find, and I did like, and I was a bit excited about, was it fits absolutely perfectly into the British GSR respirator or gas mask bag, which again I showed this week. Excellent, Jacks. Right, welcome. I'm easy to listen to because I waffle a lot, and by all means tell me I'm waffling if I'm waffling. A stainless water bottle and a mug will fit it. All right, so this bag, okay, this bag at the moment through the British Army surplus stores, I don't know about abroad, is cheap. Now I've already changed the pouch out that side, put a med pouch on that, which I will carry with me. Has a pocket this side, which, get my gubbins out of it, I will demonstrate that. It makes it a lot easier to show than just to say. Right, so that will take, right, 1 litre Nalgene bottle. Okay, 1 litre Nalgene bottle fits into there. The lid or the top doesn't quite come over, but to be honest with you, a little bit of strapping, that's already velcroed. You're laughing, and I don't think that would fall out of there. It's a tight enough fit. So it'll take an Nalgene bottle there. Internal. Let's see if I can demonstrate this, because I was trying to explain it the other day. So internal, you've got one large pocket there, which again, sorry, that side, one large pocket that side, which again would take an Nalgene bottle, would probably take a stainless steel bottle and a mug. Then you've got this large opening here. Now that will take, what can I do for reference for size for you? Okay, that I can fit into that. One Swedish M40 fits in there nicely without crushing the pockets. In fact, that's one Polish one. So I can get the Swedish and the Polish Cookset inside to give you an idea of the capacity inside. Now, a friend of mine serving still gave me a bit of an explanation of this zippered front, which I thought was great because it just allowed you to open the bag up a little bit more. But I couldn't figure out the popper thing until he explained to me the whole idea of the popper and the expanded front is so that if you have to expand it out for NBC gear and that, you then use the poppers to seal it. Yeah, what can I say? Other than that, it has a pocket on this side, which Has 3 sleeves in it, 3 sections stitched into it. Like I say, perfect for your spoon, bits and pieces like that, coffee, so on. The bag itself, great shoulder bag. Right, me and Mac tried them out. Put a fair bit of weight in there. Works, quite a comfortable bag. If you go back to your schoolhood, or childhood, packs on like that. That is actually, if you've got a little bit of weight in it, a really comfortable hands-free carry. You could be wearing your knife on your side. Yeah, that works really well. It is designed as well, just like the old NBC kit, to be drawn up and worn on your side. I just find that's a bit clunky, gets in the way, and I'd rather have other things on my belt. So that is, there you go, it's the field pack. That's the NATO stock number. So if anybody out there can get hold of NATO kit, that's the stock number. Otherwise referred to as GSR respirator bag or gas mask bag. £12.90 something we paid for those. Absolutely brilliant. You know, I'd seen them over the years, and it was only when I bought the BCB kit, I said to the wife, do you know what? Go with an old gas mask carrier for that. And she bought me the new one. Excuse my mess around here. She bought me that one, and I was blown away with it when it came. So I promptly went out and ordered one for Mac, and we went out and we threw it together because it's sort of bounced off one another. We've known one another for years. We don't lie or bullshit to one another. If you think something's good, you say it's good. If you think it's bad, you think it's bad. You put your opinion forward, and the other's never offended by it. So again, we took it out, tried it. So what we're going to see in the next few months, we're going to do what we're going to call op bug out. Because I just like the sound of it. Op bug out. Basically, we're going to put together 2 bug out kits. His one using his mindset, mine using my mindset, and then we're both going to bug out together. Might do a mad thing. I might actually get a friend of mine who has got a van to run us out one night. Might set like a 4-hour rule. He's got 4-hour driving. We'll be in the back. We won't know where we're going. Right? Not other than what we might glimpse or be able to figure out from lefts and turns, and then just get him to drop us somewhere. And we will make our own way back. And we will go along. I'll take the camera. We'll take mobile phones, and we will do everything we can to do a video on that. So that'll be op bug out. Should be an interesting one. I think 4 hours is fair. 4 hours, steady 50 mile an hour, 200 miles. 200 miles, not a problem. Give ourselves a weekend to get back using the kit and the kit only. And obviously, if it goes all tits up, just give him a ring and tell him to come and get us. So that's a rundown of my Cooksets. Now, of course, you then go back to fire and grilling. So fire pits, whether you improvise them, digging holes out, you've got fire holes that you can make. That'll be our dirty little secret. Bug out test or pub crawl home. We won't need the pub. We'll be crawling anyhow. Yeah, so that will be op bug out. That will be coming up probably sometime in the early autumn in all sense. I don't want to do it in the height of summer. I actually want to make it have a little bit of weather challenge and not have us actually cooking ourselves alive. Don't see the point in that. And it's the old thing, if you've got to move when it's cool. We could do it midsummer. But again, coming back to the practical thinking, if me and Mac were moving midsummer this time of year, great distances, I see so many other people's videos. They're getting their head down by night and then they're walking by day. It's 30-degree heat out there. Think the opposite. Shelter and cool by day. Avoid the heat. Move by night. It's cool. Yeah. Okay, it's dark, it's scary, and it's harder to navigate if you can't navigate by the stars. Basic star navigation is not that difficult. Okay, and to be honest with you, you can start very simply with a simple star map of your own. Okay, go online, look at your location where you live, find out the location right for your set star, whether it be the pole star or North Star or the Southern Cross. Okay, find out how that sits in your location, and then you can work out its yearly trajectory. By doing that, you will always find your way home. It's easy done. Let's see. Now, let's have a look at the colours. Pub crawl. Yeah, me and Mac on pub crawls, it's not such a good thing. In fact, I'll be honest with you, neither me or Mac actually drink really anymore. Sunday night, that's my treat. One bottle of cider. Okay. I've never been a big drinker. I've had to work, not if it's cloudy. But if it's cloudy, okay, it means it's going to rain. So then you look at your windage and you find out what your predominant wind is. Okay. Now, it's not such an accurate thing, but if you've got a predominant wind, which we tend to have in the UK, you can usually navigate or use that as a very rough navigation. And let's face it, most navigation is about navigating off, not navigating to. Okay. So again, even if you've got a map, if I'm traveling 10 miles and I'm looking at getting to a key point on a map, I will navigate off. Now, no two people walk in exactly the same direction. You'll either walk left or right. So if I stack you in the deserts of Nevada, dead flat, huge expanse, set you to walking by night, yeah, within about 12 to 14 hours, you're going to come across a set of footprints, which you'll probably follow. And then another person will join that set of footprints. Okay, we all walk in circles. So the knack is to try and figure out which arc you take, whether it's naturally left or naturally right. Okay, if you're natural lefter and you're navigating, yeah, nav by stars, mate. John, it's one of those things. 2 days of research and then study. And when I say study, I mean it's just getting out and looking up. It's not hard. You'll pick it up really, really quick. The other bonus is you start using it as a game. If you've got youngsters or you've got somebody else that's interested with you, what you start doing is when you're out at night is comparing from different locations and then just seeing if you can nav back on it. Okay. Natural navigation by landmass and by stars, it's quite simple stuff when you get into it. But remember this, right? It was the first form of navigation. It's been done for thousands and thousands of years. Yes, we developed some really trick bits of kit even 200-300 years ago for navigating by the stars. But our earliest ancestors navigated by stars. They navigated by the moon. They navigated by the movement of the sun. They understood these things were all fixed. Okay, so they used them. Yeah, it's true. Now the UK is so built up. Yeah, just climb a tree, have a look for a glow on the horizon. You're going to be walking towards the city. But yeah, getting back to navigation. So I aim off. Okay, I'm travelling 10 miles. I'm looking at getting to say a bridge. Okay, that bridge is over a major road, so I'm going to aim off because I walk to the left. So I'm going to head off slightly to the left of it. By the time I get to that road, that river, that railway, that location, that aiming point, sort of linear that I'm aiming for, I know that when I get to that, I've just got to turn right. It's going to take me to my location rather than get to it and go, which way is it? I already know turn right when I get there. I may have to tab a mile, but at the end of the day, it will eventually take me to my location. A lot of people aim for precise navigation. You know, I'm going to walk 20 miles and I'm walking to that gate post 20 miles away like that. Yeah, and that is, to be honest with you, very, very difficult. Reset your navigation at every opportunity. When I say every opportunity, if you're in dense woodlands and that, right, I'm talking every 50 to 100 feet. Reset, take a new bearing, take a new location, take a new marker, head for that every 50 to 100 feet. If you're on open ground, then you can take your marker at distance and head for that marker. And that marker can be a mile, mile and a half, 2 miles, if you can clearly see it. And the lay of the land is going to allow you to keep it in sight. Yeah, landmass navigation. Yeah, orienteering. Yeah, find your local orienteering club. That is, especially any of you that got kids, get them orienteering. That is great fun. If you want to practice with your, if you've got GPS, you want to practice with that. Something we did a few years ago, we thoroughly enjoyed. I try to remember the name of it now. Basically, people hide stuff all over the world, right? There's geocaching. That's it. Done all over the world. Geocaching. Find your local geocaching site. Join up. Basically, what they do is they give you grid references. You go to the grid reference, there'll be something hidden at the grid reference. It's invariably a Tupperware box. You open it up, there's a notebook. You sign it, put the date, the time, leave a little message. There's often little things in there. So people leave things, daft things like buttons, pebbles, little tiny things. You put something in, you take something out. Okay. And it is a treasure hunt. Brilliant with kids. You get out into the countryside. Some of them can be quite extreme, but there's a lot of them quite simple, quite easy to do. It's good fun. It's a reason to get out in the countryside. It's a way of having fun. And if you've got yourself a GPS, it's a great way of learning to use it in a safe environment. So if you do find yourself in a situation one day where it really has hit the fan, your GPS is going to be something you're happy to use. I like a GPS. Mine's a very basic. It's a Garmin 12. It's an ex-British military one from about 25 years ago. Doesn't do mapping. It just does grid references. It does elevation, does barometric pressure, does tide times. That's it. Other than that, it's back to the silver compass and a good old-fashioned map for me. I do like a map. Yeah, geo. Yeah, it's just great fun. Yeah, it's and a map. God, I spent hours pondering over maps. If I'm planning something, the great thing about map is you can look at it. All the information's there for you. All your grid, all your all your elevations there. All your grounds there. And don't forget that I don't know about everywhere else in the world. I know the Ordnance Survey in the UK. The mapping quality on it is that good, especially when you come down to the more in-depth maps. Will even show you the shape of buildings. So it will show you the shape of a farmhouse. It will show you post boxes. It will show you letter boxes. It will show you pretty much everything you want. So your navigation, you can always check your navigation by looking at landmass around you. So if you're at a high point, yes, you can look at all the grids. You can look at all the bearings, but you can also look at the lay of the land, see how the lay of the land orientates with your map. If there's a bunch of trees over there and they're in the shape of an H that you can see when you look down on the map, you find the trees in the shape of an H, come back, find the hill that you stood on. Take a second, it could be a river over that way, or even a set of power lines. Find those. Okay, I can see where the power lines on the map crosses the road, and I can see that there. I am definitely here and I'm heading for. So again, that's a lot of military map reading is done that way, because you haven't always got time to sit there, get the compass out, take a bearing and all the rest of it. Sometimes you just got to do a quick visual check and go, right, yeah, that's there, I'm off, and keep moving. Unless you're artillery or a mortarsman, In which case, yeah, don't be quite that relaxed about it. Yeah. Right. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to have a peruse back up through my list of the comments here. Yeah, 40. Yeah. I think, John, that's probably going to come out as a bit more than $41, but it's £41, so I don't know how that's going to work out in dollars for you, mate. But yeah, it's titanium. The water bottle's plastic, the cup's plastic, but the actual cook lid, cook pot and burner is titanium. It is absolutely brilliant bit of kit. It's used by the British Army. Yeah, it is loved. Trangiers, yeah, Phil, you can pick up little Trangier stoves. I think Heikman do one for about, I think it's about £7. They're not expensive. There are many of them on there on Amazon. If you go on Amazon and have a look through, they're all pretty much the same. However, what you want to look for, where did I put it? You know, you've had everything out and then you're looking around thinking, where did I put that? Bear with me 2 seconds, guys. Put it back in there. Yeah, did. Okay, so if you're buying a spirit stove, when you're looking on Tinterweb, you'll see that. Okay, so that is a basic spirit stove, and they all pretty much hollow area there. You put the meths in, little ring of holes there. It's double walled. You put the methylated spirits in there. It finds a level in the double wall. You light the meth spirit in there. That heats the wall, and that causes the meths that's trapped between the wall can't ignite, but it causes it to expand and vaporize very quickly. That jets through these holes. That's called blooming, and that gives you a better burner. Now, that's the one from Fox Outdoors. Choose the elbow. Came like that. However, what you want is to find one that looks like that. Okay, because that is exactly the same. However, it comes with this, and that's called a snuffer ring or a simmer ring. Okay, so that's will just drop over your burning stove to put it out like that, which makes life a lot easier. And if you need to adjust your flame, you can adjust your flame with that. So you can get a hotter or cooler burn, or faster or slower cook. Now, the reason you want a snuffer ring is on any of these stoves, they're designed to hold the spirit inside. So they've got a rubber seal inside there. And if you drop that onto that to snuff it out, eventually what happens is it damages that seal, but it also blocks these holes. And it makes that less efficient, it stops that from sealing. And then one day you put that back in your bag, it's sitting upside down or it lays on its side, and all the methylated spirits come out. If you're really unlucky, at the same time somebody flicks a cigarette butt at you, lights up near you, your bag catches fire. At which point you then look like something from medieval times where you're hoying the burning bag at the enemy. Okay, so again, have a look, see if you can find one with a snuffer ring. If you can't, you can make a snuffer ring. Pretty much, I did one the other day for somebody down there. Okay, improvised snuffer ring for the Trangier, as made by Mick. Okay, that's my spirit stove. That's my snuffer ring. It sits perfectly on there. That is the base of a pop can. Okay, it's just the aluminium base of a pop can cut out, so I can drop it on there. The great thing is the curve in that means that it always locates and puts it out. Again, no weight at all, lives in the bag with that, but you're far better off with that because you've got the simmer ring as well. It just means you can control the heat a little bit better. Yeah. Do I like the Trangier? Do I like the methylated spirit stove? Yes, I do. As I said before, one of the great bonuses with it in a survival situation or an emergency situation, yes, you might run out of methylated spirits. You can use any other form of spirit that you need to. They're not all going to burn as efficiently as denatured alcohol or methylated spirits. Okay, but petrol will work, thinners will work, any high vapor rate spirit will work. Thinners works really, really well because it's got such a high vapor rate, but it burns off fast. But it gives a very hot flame, works very efficiently. Okay, um, and as I said before, a lot of the stoves that you can use a spirit stove with will also improvise a twig stove. So you've got the two in one. And a saying that I learned years ago and I stand by today, okay, it's two is one, one is none. Simple as that. If you can get two jobs out of an item, do so. If you can get a tool to do your two jobs, better. Okay. If you can do three jobs with it, awesome. And if it'll do four jobs, yeah, get it. It's the same reason why a lot of guys knock me because I go on about the um, Belgian, Dutch poncho. Love the Dutch poncho. It's a brilliant poncho. It does as a tarp, it does as water collection, it does as shelter, it's ground sheet, it's my jacket. People say, you wear bloody poncho as a jacket. Well, it goes over me, it goes over my bergen, it creates shelter, it does 2 or 3 jobs. I also carry a tarp. So, yeah, a jacket is just a jacket. My poncho does so much more for me. It even improvised into a stretcher if I need it to. So that's why I choose that. And I know it's not everybody's cup of tea. It doesn't look as cool as a lot of other stuff. I know that. I know it's not as Gucci and it doesn't have a brand label on it that cries out that it was worn at the top of Everest by Sir Edmund Hillary on his 3rd annual Yeti hunt. No, it wasn't. It's a simple, decent bit of kit that has got me out of trouble more than once. Okay, so yeah, it's the way to go. Way to go. Yeah, you bought a cheap knockoff one, and I bet you it works just as well as the more expensive versions. Because the funny thing is, with a spirit stove, they're very, very, very simple. Yeah, they're very much. It's such a simple design. Okay, it may be out of a slightly more inferior material. Okay, it may be it's not pressed together just as well. The easy test with a spirit stove when you first get one, if you're unsure about it, is put meths in it, turn it upside down, and give it a shake, and see if it leaks. And what you're looking for is leaks around any of these seams here. Okay, and if somebody says to you, "Yeah, I've got a Trangier you can have for 20 quid," okay, if it doesn't have that on the bottom, okay, it's not a Trangier. Okay, that one is made by Fox Outdoors. Okay, German made, damn good bit of kit. Didn't come with a simmer ring. I was slightly miffed. That's a Trangier. Will always come with a simmer ring. Okay. There's a great video actually about Trangier. T R A T. Oh, T R. Excuse my brain. Any of you that suffer with TBIs, you'll know where I'm coming from. Sometimes it just goes blank. No, I'm not going to be able to spell it. Sorry, guys. Trangier. Okay, there's a very good YouTube video on the Trangier, and how it was invented. The guy, that's it, Lee Michael. To get up. Trangia. Okay, there's a brilliant YouTube video about how the factory is. The factory is still the same factory as it originally was. It was made. It's still made by the same people. Still a little family business, stamping these things out by the thousand. But there's a brilliant story behind how it came about. Okay, same thing with the Kelly kettle. Kelly family, still the same people, same family, making that kettle in the same place in Ireland, manufactured the same way. Okay, brilliant. Exactly that. Yeah, it's all about the go, not the show. Yeah, it's and again, it's as we said on I say on the channel all the time. It's not necessarily the kit; it's the mindset. Okay, I would rather have. Excuse me, otherwise I'm going to kick everything over down there. I would rather, if it was in a survival situation, I'd rather have a man with a well-equipped mind than a man that knew nothing and had every bit of kit in the world. Okay, um, because survival and emergency situations, it's all about that. It's about being able to adapt. It's about being able to move forward. Um, there's a lot of planners out there that think we're all exactly the same. You know, two human beings exactly the same. They think the same. They'll move the same. They carry the same weight. And that's it. Just hooey. In a genuine emergency situation, if you're the guy, you are going to be dealing with people that are injured. You're going to be dealing with people suffering with trauma. You're going to be dealing with the disabled. You're going to be dealing with people that are in panic mode. You're also going to be looking for those people out there that have your mindset, right? And those are the ones that are going to help pull you through the situation. Um, it's just always makes me laugh. Cobra, it doesn't matter which of the governments it is in the world, when they put together their emergency plans, seem to think that everybody's physically fit, able, going to be able to climb on the roof and wait for a helicopter. It doesn't work like that. So again, mindset. And I'm not a doom and gloomer. Don't get me wrong. I'm not a doomsday prepper. I'm not preparing for any particular disaster. I'm just aware of the fact disasters happen. So I prepare, I train mentally, and I study and I try and learn as much as I can. So the event that it all goes wrong, right, then I move. Then I make my decision. And I make it as an educated decision. Yeah, keep moving, working until I pass yeah, exactly that. I used to say, yeah, I used to have to work in a field where I was being controlled, and I used to say to people, please, under no circumstances, scream. Right? Please do not scream at all. It puts me off being able to control this vehicle. However, if you hear me start to scream, by all means, make as much noise as you want. Um, oh, yeah. So, we're getting towards that time now, aren't we? Hour and 30 minutes in. So, guys, I'm not going to shut down just yet, but I'm going to look back, if it's all right with you guys. If you want to have a chat amongst yourselves for a second, I'm just going to have a quick peek back along the comments and see what's going on. Because there's a couple of people I normally say hello to, and I haven't seen them tonight. Or no, I think I saw them earlier on, and I didn't really say much about hello. Yeah, Sam's Woodland Camps. Oh, Sam, where you gone? Yeah, lost him. All right. Oh, well, I was going to say hi to Sam. Oh, well, what can I do? Well, other than that, I hope everybody is doing well. It's an awesome week. Anybody else out there at the adventures this week? Done anything interesting? Been anywhere? Seen anything? No? Is there anything you would like to see me do this week in particular? Obviously, keep it clean, keep it sensible. And no, not swimming the channel, not fighting sharks or polar bears. Burner fuels. Okay, we'll do burner fuels this week. I will do a video on burner fuels through the week. So I'll do that from home. Obviously, because then I've got all the safety appliances and that around me, which is a bonus, and we'll have a bit of an experiment. There's a couple of things that people have been putting forward to me that I want to try out. So, cheers, Ian. Cheers, Ian. Thanks a lot, mate. You could burn on one side of your body, right, mate? Take it easy with that. You watch out for that sunburn. Manar, have a good one, mate. Take it easy. Have an awesome time. Have an awesome week. Look forward to catching you next week. Right, so again, I'll reiterate to you guys here, membership. Okay, it was a way of me being able to move forward with YouTube. That opens more doors for me, actually, more that I can do. My screen here now in front of me has given me at least 5 other tools that I can use now when I'm doing videos. So I've got to learn how to do it. So I can do things like shared screens. So in theory, I can FaceTime somebody or have somebody also up on here now. So once I learn how to do all this, obviously, which means Sooty's going to have to come over and give me a hand. But yeah, so it was a way of opening up tools. It was also a way of expanding the channel. Okay. Those of you that wish to become members, by all means do. I appreciate it. Every little bit helps, and it helps us with getting kit, it helps us to move forward. Those of you who can't fully understand that, I really understand that. There is no pressure for anybody at all to become a member unless they really want to. Okay, all I ask is you like and you subscribe and you share. That's the simple thing, and put the word out there. Yeah, somewhere in the deepest parts of Hampshire in the UK, there is a Wally. There is this guy. He likes to be out in the woods. He spent his whole life pretty much outside, and he likes to share what he knows and learn from others. Cheers, mate. Appreciate that, John. I really do appreciate that. That means a lot. Yeah. It's quite difficult for us over in the UK. I see a lot of channels in the States, and I watch and study a lot of channels in the States, and you've obviously got a lot more freedoms than we have here. We're quite, I wouldn't say oppressed, but it is difficult to do some of the things to do. Things like wild camping and that are illegal in the UK, as apart from 1 or 2 very small areas. And again, our national parks aren't run in the same way that yours are, where you've got very, very good camping systems. Hunting's very different here. I mean, are you aware from a video, but I am a shooter. I do shoot. But in UK, under UK rules and regulations, I'm not really allowed to shout about it and tell everybody what I do, because it might put me at risk. Okay, so yeah, you get a little bit of that. On the other side of the coin, there is a movement in the UK. The whole wild camping, the bushcraft, the survivalist, the prepper movement is growing in the UK, and hopefully what it will do in the next few years, it'll enact some change. The government's going to see it and go, cool, we can make revenue out of this. Why don't we open up some areas of the national parks for wild camping? We might just charge them a small fee for using it, but we can make money out of that. Okay, I'm prepared. I'm prepared to pay a small fee if it gives me the ability to go and enjoy the great outdoors without hide. Now, I'm very lucky because of my military contacts and because of the work I've done. I know a few people, and I managed to get a bit of access to land. Scottish law is quite different. Now, what I would do there, John, I won't go into this too much because I'm obviously not being Scottish. However, I will ask Mac from the Hampshire Hog Hunters. He has a lot of contacts up there. He's Scottish himself, and he was explaining it to me the other day. He can probably explain it to you a lot more than I can of how the law goes in Scotland, because there are changes being enacted up there. There is a bit of an issue in certain parts of Scotland with popularity, and again, it comes back to the whole thing of education. It's It's not the guys that are really into it that are the problem, because we'll go out, we don't leave a trace, we don't take risks, we know what we're doing. It's the uneducated. It's the yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Private land and public land in the UK. Okay, so in the UK, most of the land is managed, maintained, owned, and looked after by either the Crown, by organisations that are run by the government, like Natural England. Natural England look after about 80% of the UK. They look after all the parks and all the rest of it. But the problem is, for these people, it's always been a case of, yes, you can walk there, you can cycle there, you can climb there, you can't camp there. They don't want to see blue tents on hills. There's this whole sort of anti thing, or this mindset that everybody's going to go into the countryside and ruin it. And yeah, if you let the uneducated and the yeah, if you let people that have no understanding out there to just party, and there is, I don't know if you have it in the States. Well, I think we've got it everywhere in the world. You've got those groups that will go out, they will just light a bloody great fire in an inappropriate place, they will party hard, they will leave all their rubbish behind, and then they go. Okay? And of course that creates problems, that creates knee-jerk reactions. The people and the powers that be jump on it. That stops us from being able to use it. However, with this movement and the way things are growing, it's pushing the hang on, why can't you, A, as an organisation like Natural England or the government or the private landowner, make money out of it, right? And B, why can't we just have it set up so that you can have a fire pit? I know on some of my visits, I've been to places where you guys have some wonderful campsites, some absolutely beautiful, and what we would call in the UK wild camping, i.e., it is just an area where you can camp, but there will already be a concreted or an iron fire pit location where you have your fire pit. You know, absolutely simple idea. Um, the place is managed to maintain, and I know in your national parks there's a lot of wild camping. I know you also get fire restrictions. You get times a year when you can't light fires, and so on and so on and so on. But you've, and also the other point of view is you've got the landmass. That's the other big thing. Okay, one of the things that here in the UK is I can pretty much take you anywhere in the mainland England. Okay, you could drop me blindfolded, and I can guarantee you within 2 hours I've either found a town or a village. I can guarantee you within 40 minutes I'll have found a road. Okay, so we just don't have the landmass. And again, a lot of what's set up in this country is actually set up to run cities. A lot of the way the politicians and the powers that be think in this country is about the cities. They think about the bigger population. Where are we going to get the most votes? Oh, central London, Manchester, Birmingham. But those are the only people we're interested in. Well, the rural lot are those few people that live in the countryside that might not be bothered to vote. Bollocks to them, not interested. So our issues for using the countryside and wanting to be in the countryside are put on the back burner. Nobody listens, nobody's really interested. Okay, they're more interested in whether they can screw the car drivers of Londoners out of another £12.50 a day. Yeah, Germany, and again, Germany, land mass to population. I think one of the sad things in the UK is we don't have the rural authorities don't have the power. It always comes back to a state authority, the government. When actually, fact, I think things like the Cornish Assembly or the Cornish councils should be allowed to manage the land down there themselves. It shouldn't be somebody sitting up here in London going, oh, Oh, well, we run Natural England, and no, we don't want that happening on the moors. It should be the local authority down there that live with it, see it, manage it, and maintain it, that go, yeah, do you know what, let's set aside a camping area over there. And Hampshire Hog Hunters is one of the reasons I've joined it. That's what they're pushing for. They're pushing to show the powers that be that A, you could make money out of this. B, it's good for people. It's great for their mental well-being. It's great for their physical health. It's good for the environment because the environment's being used, right? All you've got to do is set some sensible rules to using it, okay? I mean, at the end of the day, if I turn around to all the wild campers in the UK and said, okay, every single one of you needs to spend 20 quid a year on your state pass for camping in wild areas. And with that, you get a booklet. And that little booklet, same as you do if you get a fishing permit, what you can, what you can't do, what's acceptable, some emergency contact numbers, a few maps in it and that, a few details, and off you go. How many hundreds of thousands of people are going to take that offer at 20 quid a head? Okay. So, and we've already got the staff to manage these things. All these places have their rangers, they have their authority there. $2 a night. Yeah, see, small fee. For a small fee, you get so much pleasure, and that's where they're missing it in the UK. This is where the authorities. Well, the problem is everything's run here by old men. Not bothered by gators. See that? Remember, the oldest rule with gators is quite simple: the smallest guy gets the water, or the most unpopular one. Yeah, and there are places, there are landowners in the UK, farmers and that have areas where they do, and they are happy for people to come and camp for a small fee. Getting back to very much, it was very, very common in the 1950s and 60s, and even the 70s when I was a boy, to the point where I can remember, I can remember the farm, and I can remember people turning up, knocking on the door, asking if they could camp in the field, and being told, "Yeah, for a couple of quid you could camp in the field, not a problem at all." You know, and it was, yeah. Do you want some water? Do you need water? Do you need some milk? Sell you some eggs, sell you some bread. By all means, camp in the field, not an issue. Um, and again, a private landowner, somebody who owns a farmer or somebody who owns land, is quite entitled to do that and to give permission. In the UK, not an issue at all. I've got the two sites you see me do my videos on. One of those is a farm. It's a beautiful farm, absolutely stunning. Only downside with it, we've got a motorway about half a mile to one side of it. So you do get a bit of background noise, but it's a nice spot. And the other one is a forested area. It's only 6 acres in the Surrey Hills. And that is a mixed broadleaf, mostly beech, funny enough. Well, I've got permission to use that. And again, as I said last week, how did I get permission? Well, I put the effort in. I contact people. I'm polite to them. I offer to help. I offer my services in return for permission to camp, do my videos. Yeah. Yeah, you offer simple services. There is no farmer in this country that won't turn down or will turn down a genuine offer of help. Okay, and he might sound you out. He might initially turn you away, but if you just friendly, polite, keep on with him, it's surprising how it goes. And again, show good intent. Explain to him, be honest. Explain to him what I want to do on a wild camp. You can't just spend the night. You've got a little bit of woods or a corner out the way where I can just put my tent up, spend the night. Just want to get out in the countryside. Just want peace and the quiet of it. And I guarantee you, any farmer you turn around to and you say, I just want to spend a bit of peace and quiet, is going to understand, because that's one thing farmers do understand: peace and quiet. Okay. You go up there. You might let you do it once. You go up. You make sure that there's not a trace left, and before you leave, you pop back. You thank him. You ask him if do you want to come up and check where I was. Make sure you're happy with it. Make sure I haven't missed anything. Okay. And then you give it a week or two. And you give him a ring. You say, okay, if I pop up again. Right. And if he says yes this time, you go up. Right. But when you go up, take up a thank you. Well, it doesn't have to be expensive. With a bottle of red wine or something, a cheap one from Tesco's. I know it's not expensive, mate, but it's just a thank you for letting me do that. He might not drink red wine, but he's going to appreciate the offer. He can appreciate the thought behind it. Okay. And again, you keep in and you build a relationship with him. Yeah. Yeah. You got that division out there, Dave, phenomena. So you got that townies and country folk. Unfortunately, there's a lot of country hearts trapped in towns. Okay. There's a lot of country hearts trapped in towns. My story is pretty much the same. My family had to relocate for work and that, and drag me from the countryside. So again, that happens. However, you'll just unfortunately you get tarred with the brush, don't you? And it only takes a few idiots to ruin things for everybody. Yeah, there we go. Keep trying. Anyhow, guys, that's an hour and 47 minutes. I think we're going to do, I'm going to let you guys. Not right. Normally, I tried to upload for Thursday, between Thursday night midnight and Friday night midnight. My theory is I like to try and get my main upload of the week up done then, so that you guys got it for the weekend. Yeah, you got it for your relaxing time. That's just my mindset. I've been told apparently I'm doing it completely the wrong time. I need to be doing it midweek to get more views. However, that's when I do it. I quite often knock up a midweek video. I'll do a little something that I try and keep to sort of 12, maybe 15 minutes through the week. And that's really is depending on how my week's going, how my life's going. The two guarantees you have always got is there will be one that 12 to 12 Thursday, 12 o'clock midnight Thursday to 12 o'clock midnight Friday. There will always be a video then. And there will always be a video on the Sunday night. John, I'll tell you what, where you are, what's the time out there at the moment for you guys? It's just out of interest. I don't know what the time zone difference is. Not too bad. Not too bad. Because that's another one. When I first started doing this, it was like, what time? Good man. Yeah, put in that 24-hour clock. We won't have none of that foreign muck over here. It's done in a good old-fashioned 24 hours. Stand to that man. Right, so, yeah, one of the things I'll ask you guys out there, right, backyard yarn would be a bonus. Okie doke. Yeah, we'll see what we can do. Right, does this time fit in for you guys? Have a think about it through the week. Let me know. Send me a comment. Send me a message. Am I setting this up at the right time, which is 2000 hours on a Sunday night, UK? And to be honest with you, Sunday night suits me. Would you want it earlier? Would you want it later? And I will go with the majority vote. Okay, it's whatever suits you guys. And initially, I started off doing it at 1900 hours UK time. And people seemed to want it a bit later, and it fitted in for my life, moving it up a little bit, especially as we started coming into the lighter days. There's more to do around the house and the garden. I appreciate the miles and pounds there. Definitely beats a kilometre. I'll take a mile over a kilometre any day of the week. Yeah, bloody Europeans. Yeah, 2000 hours. I'd like to say it pretty much. I normally try. I keep saying to myself, limit your live chat to an hour. It doesn't work out like that, so I just float it to when I feel comfortable. When I'm running out of steam, I'm starting to feel that I've got to go and get a cup of tea. Yeah, that's when we'll wind it down. So we'll wind it down now, guys. Have a bloody awesome week wherever you are in this world. Spread the word. Yeah. Let me know what you want. Send us comments, send us likes. Please like, subscribe, share, ring that notification bell, and all the other blah, blah, blah that all the other YouTubers say. Okay? Difference is I mean it. I appreciate every one of you for turning up tonight. Okay? This channel's been going since November. Everybody said to me when I first started it, yeah. Do you know what? I thoroughly enjoy it. I started all this purely and simply to leave something for my granddaughter if anything happened to me. I'm rolling on towards 60 now. You sit there one day, you wake up, you open your eyes, you suddenly realise, okay, you're on the downhill side. Brilliant. And the we might shorten it up a little, make it a bit earlier when the nights get a bit darker. But we'll see how it goes. And I've been thoroughly pleased in being able to share what I know with people, what I've been able to learn from other people. And it's a pleasure. I've spent many years in the military as an instructor, and it's one thing I got the most pleasure out of in life is teaching. Okay, I'm not a teacher, I'm not an educated man, but I do like to share knowledge, and I like to receive knowledge. So any ideas you guys got, any tips you guys got, fire them off this way, okay? And the brain is a sponge, isn't it? You know, if it gets full, wring it out, refill it. But yeah, have an awesome week. Look after yourselves. Stay safe. Keep that old mindset going. What would I do if? Yeah, and that's it. Be a survivor. Did you excuse me sniffing there? I've got rotten hay fever. Oh yeah, I'm going to be around for donkey's years. I've got a cunning plan. Yeah, I'm going to hang on long enough that I'm going to be that little old fella in the old people's home waiting for his bed bath every day. Yeah, you all have a great week, guys. Head on a swivel. That's bloody right. Stay frosty. Yeah. Dan, Bill Hook or Prang? Oh, Dan. Bill Hook or Prang? Oh, you swine. That's... See you later, Got to be a parang, Dan. Got to go with the parang. It's slightly longer. DD Top or Army Basher? Oh, DD Top. I would go with. No, I wouldn't. No. Army Basher, principally because it's done me for donkey's years. Okay, DD Top. I love it. It's bigger. It's better. But Army Basher, I've had for years. But all the way to right. Scrammer and a Basher. I tell you, can't beat a Basher. It's what you know, isn't it? It's what you know. But then again, you've got to be prepared to learn as well. So, yeah, DD Top, I love because of its size for hammock camping and practicality. Yeah, love it. But yeah, Army Basher, purely and simply because there's some things you get comfy with. It's like an old pair of trainers, isn't it? We've all had that pair of trainers that the missus just wants to throw out. She's had enough of, or an old pair of trousers that the missus looks at and goes, "I'm gonna burn them bloody things." But you like them. They're comfy. They're like an old friend. You put them on, you feel good with it. Might not look the best, might not be the tidiest, but you feel comfortable with it. That's the way to go. Comes back to morale. You know, your first part of survival is your willpower. Willpower comes from morale, or morale goes with willpower. I suppose really I should have been clever and answered it with DD Top or Basher. But anything that keeps the rain and the wind off, really. Same with slippers, yeah, too right. Thing is, Ian, do your slippers' heels still stand up, or have you squashed them down flat that much that they're now part of the sole? That's just described to you my slippers, isn't it? Yeah, showed me age from talking about slippers. Oh, dear. Favorite bivvy bag? My favorite bivvy bag is it's the British Army bivvy Gore-Tex bivvy bag, but you've got to widen out the neck on it. So you've got to get the sewing gear out and a bit of sealant tape and widen it out a fraction, and then get yourself a nice bit of flexible hoop. And there you go. Just make yourself a nice little batcher. Or if you're lucky enough, get yourself an SAS or SBS um, bivvy bag, which is pretty much that. It's got a widened neck and it has a hoop with it. Hang on, I've missed something here. So it's squashed, yeah. Heels of my slippers have got squashed down into the soles. Almost part of the floor. I've got a pair of Crocs. Okay, I've got a pair of Crocs. I know. I thought they were hideous things, yeah. But I've got a pair of Crocs that I've worn that much. In fact, there's nothing up here. No, I've worn that much that there's two holes on the balls of my feet under the toes. And I know my darling wife really wants to throw them out. But you know what? They formed to the shape of my feet perfectly. And for the odd occasion that something actually jabs me in the sole of my foot, they're comfortable. Well, yeah, see, that's the thing, John. I've been looking at your bivvy bags over there, and I like them, but we can't get them over here at a sensible price. They're bloody ridiculously expensive. So what I might have to do at some point, I have to get you to find out how much it'll cost for picking one up out there for me, maybe shipping it over, and I'll send you over the cash. We'll do it that way, because I would love to review one over here. So is it the Wooby? Yeah, so again, it's a bit of kit we can't get over it, or if you can get it over here, because it's it's not often seen. The prices are absolutely skyrocketed through the roof. The importers put a massive fee on them. You're joking? $40. Might have to do that, my friend. I might have to send you over some cash. See if you can pick me one up. Work out what the postage is. Let me know. And just the cover. And yeah, I'd have one of those. You never know. Me and you could become millionaires next year, John. We could be importing them into the UK. Take over the whole UK bushcraft scene. Dutch bivvy bag's a nice one. Yeah. Oh, you jammy bugger. Got a Dutch bivvy bag, Gore-Tex bivvy bag, 2 bashes for 30 quid. Woobies. Yeah, me and Matt were talking about those the other day. Yeah, again, something we're going to have to see if we can get our hands on over it. Because again, it'd be a nice comparison. You'll be able to say, like, it's British equivalent, it's the American equivalent. I see lots of guys doing videos where you've got an American guy showing his kit, a British guy showing his kit. I'd actually like to see it swapped over. So I'd like to see a British serviceman using American kit and an American serviceman using British kit. So likewise, John, maybe I can send you over something that you can't get over there that we can get over here. You know, we can do something like that. And again, it's what the channel's about. It's linking people together. It's creating it's a wealth of knowledge, isn't it? And ideas, sharing views. Poncho liner, yeah. Oh, Jesus. And again, there's so much kit out there. So much kit out there. And again, you could, I was sitting there the other day, and I'm waffling now, I know that. Sitting the other day looking at lists of stuff, and I'm thinking, if I had my lifetime over again and I wanted to go through every bit of kit there was, I don't think you could do it. I really don't think you could do it. All right, there's a lot of it's pants, but then that's where this works. This is where I can ask the question: what do you think about this? Does it work? Is it any good? What's its downfall? Because again, on YouTube, you either got somebody going, this is the most awesome thing you'll ever use, because it's awesome, right? I like it. Don't show me why. Or they go, this is absolute rubbish. I go, why is it rubbish? Just bloody tell me what's this good point and bad point? It might be rubbish for you, it might be good for me. So again, it's getting that information. You can't find old school US ponchos here. I'm very lucky that way. I'm very, very, as I've said before, I'm very, very lucky. I've got a wife that's quite happy with me. Woolen blanket, yeah. Well, that's it. Well, Dan, I picked up, bear with me, back in a moment. My son will be proud of this. Oh, I picked up not so long ago one of these, and that is a Russian felt blanket. Okay, made from wool. Right? Yes, it's heavy, but I tell you what, 30-degree heat at the moment, I can roll up in that, and it keeps me cool. And in the winter, it's absolutely perfect. It literally just holds your body temperature. Absolutely superb bit kit. So, anybody's looking for a bloody good blanket out there, and they're fairly cheap at the moment. Very windproof, Dan. Absolutely brilliant. When I first looked at it, it was sold as a Russian army wool blanket. So I bought it and it came. And I was, if you hold something up, you're looking at it, I was like, that's not woven in the way that you'd normally expect wool to be woven. And then looking into it, it's actually a rolled felt. So basically, it's a felted blanket. And it is superb and heavy duty. I mean, I took it out. We did a winter overnighter. I would say at the right angle. Now, if you were building like a bender shelter, that would shed water, okay, and it is very, very thick. It would shed water. If you were rolled up on the ground with it like that, eventually water's going to come through. But the big bonus to that is it's wool, and wool retains its heat even when wet. So again, that's why a lot of the best survival clothing is wool basted. Cheers, Dan. Yeah, it was. If you had it at a steep enough angle, it's going to shed. When I say shed, it would seep through it, but the water is going to be contained within the material, will run down the material. And I expect the fibres of the material will expand very much as it does with most natural fibres and act as more of a blocker. 100% windproof. There's no way you're going to get any wind through that. Thermally, fantastically efficient, as with all wools. But yeah, it would work. It would work. So now I'm going to have to prove it, aren't I? So this winter, I am going to make a shelter out of a Russian army blanket and spend the night in the rain. Yeah, wool, fire retardant, absolutely brilliant. Traps heat, brilliant heat trapper. So yeah, I've just set myself up on one there, and yeah, you definitely got a winner. I mean, I've got the Polish Nauvoo, that with the Russian felt blanket. Oh golly, you're laughing. And again, it's old systems, isn't it? We've got all this modern kit out there, and a lot of the modern kit is good. Yeah, it's good. Again, when I used to do a lot of shooting, I'd wear tweed. And I used to get a couple of the young lads laugh at me. Oh, my old tweed jacket. I've got Gore-Tex. My Gore-Tex is waterproof. And about 10 minutes later, they've snagged it on a barbed wire fence or something. And it's ripped. Whereas that old tweed jacket of mine, that are donkey's years old, it was more likely to damage the barbed wire fence than be damaged itself. And again, it was waterproof because it was wool. And it was windproof. And even if it did get absolutely sodden, it still held my body heating. So a lot better. Anyhow, we're now at 2:07, and I did say goodnight a while back, so I'm going to wind it up here, guys. Plash Palaka, yeah. Yeah, brilliant bit of kit. Me and Mac did a video the other week with them. Yeah, so waterproof cape, shelter, everything you want. Yeah, it's heavy. Yes, it can be a bit of it's not fiddly to put up. Maybe it's a bit more effort than the instant tents we see today, these instant pop-up tents. No worries, guys. Cheers, Dan. Will do. Anyhow, that's me. I've got to wrap it up there, guys, because I need to go and function. Guys, have a brilliant week wherever you are. Stay safe, be good, look after yourselves, have an awesome week. That's how you found me, John. Yeah, did something right. Brilliant. That's good news. I just love that sort of feedback. You're like, blimey. I look at the subscriber count and things like that and I go, blimey, I've got so many people, so many friends. Hickster, take it easy, my friend. Have a great one. Look after yourselves. Have an awesome week, guys. That's it. I'm winding it up there. I've got to move. Take it easy. Be fun. Be safe. Love those you do. Forgive those you don't. And as always, to all of you, peace and light be upon you all. This is Mickey, Hampshire Outdoors of Survival. Mickey out.